Mi gente, what's good? My name is DJ Integrity. I am the host of Mixed Mondays, and what you're about to see is a recap of a past interview that we have done on Twitch. Make sure that you're following us there, Oxen Brand Music, and then also like and subscribe for more content like this. Dale. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. It is time to help me welcome the homie Socrates.
Bro, oh my God. It's an honor. It's an honor.
What's good, bro? Yo, so you just got to see this is just how we do things here, man. This is how we do things here. We got
Bro, your energy, bro, I was dying with the whole squirrel suit, the Chick-fil-A, the sweet tea. Bro, I love your energy, and the people in the comments are living for it, bro.
Hey, I appreciate that. It's easy, man. We got some great people in here. They definitely make it a whole lot of fun. They make this thing worth it. And I mean, hence why I'm wearing this. My bad for not even giving you a heads up before we got on air that this might happen.
No, it's all good. I like the surprise, bro. I was crying. Bro, that was funny. Oh my gosh. It's a good way to start and get everybody into it, you know?
Bro, if you could please shed some light on who you are, introduce yourself. They definitely know about you because you have been on our countdown before. And so shout out to the viewers, for putting you on here. So, but yeah, man, go ahead and give them a little rundown as to who you are, bro.
Got you. So my name is Socrates. I am 21 years old. I live in Central Florida, Orlando. My social security number is 1287. No, I'm just playing. But I am a CHH artist here in Florida. I love the Lord. I represent who He is. You know who I am as well. Through who I am, I do rap music. I've been making it for about a little bit over 2 years. You know, and honestly, it's just been a journey. Like meeting new people. You know, getting to know who people are. Also on top of that, like just seeing the growth and what the Lord has in store for me. You know, like I know He's not done with me. I know He's not finished with me, and I know I'll be touching a lot of people through my music journey, and I'll continue doing so. But I love it, man. Like I'm just ready to quit my 9 to 5 so I can just start working on music like full time.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Of course. I mean, we, just to be able to do that full time, be focused, to be able to say that, man, I can fully dedicate something that you feel like you're probably designed for, right? That you're created for.
Sure.
So, so I mean, you've been doing it. How long have you been doing it? Like, what got you? What inspired you to even become an artist, bro?
So honestly, okay. So I don't know if you can tell back there, but there's a piano right there. So I've always been playing the piano. Like I've been playing since I was like about 8 years old. You know, so I don't mean to brag or anything, but I'm still not good. You know, but I just want to like, say I'm good or anything. But I mean, I've been playing for a little bit. So music has always been a part of my life, and I tell this to everybody. So like rapping wasn't really like a new thing to me. You know, I kind of grew up with that. I grew up with like I'm also a worship leader at my church, so I grew up with around like worship music, rap music, you know, even jazz at sometimes where I dabbled into like different types of genres. So just the music area wasn't nothing new. Like rap itself, I got introduced to it when I was like about 16 because my boy, I don't know if you know Joseph Muniz, but shout out to him.
We're going to have him on next week, bro.
Yeah, he told me. I got so hyped for him. So he actually put me on to rapping because one day out of nowhere, he was like, oh, we're going to a camp, like a youth camp for our church. You want to rap? They invited me to rap. You want to rap with me? And out of nowhere, and I'm like, sure. Like I just said, yeah. I didn't even think about it. I was like, yeah. And then the first song that I made with him, it was like, to me at the time, it was fire. Like I'm talking about like Lecrae level fire. Like Lecrae should sign me right now, you know? So, but I mean, I was 16. So, like me hearing it, I'm like, yeah, this is fire. This is fire. Now hearing it now, I'm like, no, I need to keep that in the vault. Never show anybody ever. So he got me into it, and then some people were like, "Yo, you can actually rap." You know, it being your first time, you can actually rap. So then I was like, "Yeah, okay." So then that was like my sophomore year. Now my senior year of high school, I started rapping like a little bit more, but that's more for fun. You know, it was kind of like Joseph was doing it, so I was like, "Oh, let me do it too." You know, I'll write music too. And I dropped one song, like a snippet, and then it hit like a couple thousand views with like my school, like just in between my school. And then I was like, whoa, like I can actually do it serious. Like I can, you know, like I'm getting a little bit of, you know, recognition for it. But that's just me being in my flesh, kind of like, oh, I want people to notice, you know. But throughout time, you know, the Lord refined me, you know, and it was more of doing it for Him than anybody else, you know. I realized that my audience is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Something I had to get refined over the time. But it was mostly like just me and Joseph kind of like messing around in the studio, you know, when I was like 16, 17. And then it wasn't until like 2 years ago. So I was like 19 where I was like, I'm gonna take this serious, you know?
Yeah, but the thing is, and I mean, you actually brought up a good point though. Like because of the response to your music,
Mhm.
it did still inspire you. It did still encourage you to be like, okay, cool, I can do this. And that's, I mean, that's important. And our chat knows right here too. It's important. Like, it's one thing to be like, pat you on the back, hey, that's nice, good job, or whatever. But like, when you really are pushing streams, when people are talking about it, when you're able to,
Mhm.
do shows and stuff like that, like all of that stuff. Yes, I mean, obviously, one way or another, we have to kind of wrestle with our flesh, right? About making sure that it's not about us, and even if it started about us, I mean, gosh, same thing for me for breaking. Like it was not necessarily like hey, I'm doing this for God. It's like I really enjoy it,
Mhm.
and I know that I can also, kill it on the dance floors and get attention, right, or whatever. But
Yeah.
just because it might have started out that way, doesn't mean that obviously God couldn't flip it, and clearly He did. When did you go from like were you doing Christian music right off the bat, or was it when did you get to that point where you're like, yo, God, like I for sure want to be doing this for you?
So I've always done Christian music. Like, oh well, you have some liberals out there that'll be like, I don't know, it's not Christian because you don't speak like God necessarily in the song. But I've always done Christian music. Like I've always done music for the Lord. The thing was that me starting off music, I was never like too out there about it. I was more like, if God comes up, it'll be like, oh, it's that's it. Me right now being who the man I am today and the man that God has refined me to be. Right now the music that I try to put out is more like God centered. Like I try to like pray before my songs start. Like I pray before I go to the studio. Like I make sure that it's nothing that I'm doing because it's by my own will. So it wasn't until like I was like probably like I would say like almost 20, because I had like a midlife crisis, kind of like around that time. Also because of COVID. So COVID hit kind of hard, and it was kind of hard for everybody. But like me being in
Yeah.
quarantine really like put my spiritual life to the test. Like it was like, all right, no, I have to take this serious, I have to tighten up a little bit more serious. So if you were to see the songs that I made before quarantine compared to now, even the songs that I haven't released, I have a lot of songs unreleased. Compared to now, you can tell the difference like in my tone, my attitude, and just me who I am. So it wasn't until like I was like 20-ish around there.
Wow. Okay. No, that's cool, man. That I like. Yeah, it's true. Depending on who you're talking to, is that music actually Christian? Is it? Did you say Jesus enough? You know what I mean?
No, for
But yeah, man. Yeah. Shout out to Cole in the chat. He said, "Yep, got to pray beforehand." He's actually a recording artist as well. A really good
hey,
friend of mine.
you know
So,
my boy.
here in the St. Louis area. But yeah, man. So that's really cool. Well, speaking about your guy Joseph, obviously with the music and everything going on, you just recently did a show not too long ago, correct?
Yeah, so it was actually last week. No, like 2 weeks ago. So I
Yeah.
went to Tennessee, but it wasn't really like a show. It was kind of like more of a convention for the youth and the congregation that are residing in the church that I go to. So
Yeah.
every other year they have like a youth convention, and like hundreds and hundreds of people go. And it's super amazing. Like this year was amazing. God really moved. The Holy Spirit really moved into place. Um, so it was like I think like 3 days before the convention started that they called me, my boy Joseph, and then my boy Jay Soto, who I also make music with, and we're kind of like a little clique together. But like
Yeah.
they called us and were like, "Yo, would you guys like to perform?" And then, of course, we're gonna say yes. Like that's good. We love
All
to
right. No
perform.
brainer. Yeah.
No, no, for real. But unfortunately, Joseph couldn't go because he had family stuff that he had to do. But me and Jay ended up going, and we ended up like like doing our thing. But it was more like a convention more than a show. But like at the end of the night, it became a show. Like it became like we brought like that hype, that hypeness, that intensity. Like in that small performance that we had. And it was amazing. Like people showed so much support, so much love, and it'd be like people that don't know your songs, and it's the people that don't know your songs and still try to learn your songs in the middle of a performance that
Yeah.
deserve the recognition, deserve like that love. Because I have people like I have a song called Skyfall, and it's like my life is at Skyfall and there's no imagination. I'm looking at everybody, but to my mind made it. There was people that were like, my life, yeah, my life, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like in the middle, like the whole thing, like just mumbling words because they wanted to show love. So it was super amazing. Man, God is good for real. I'm so hyped right now. I'm sorry, I got a little bit of energy.
No, bro, you good. I mean, shoot, you saw how we started the the stream. We kicked it off with the hype train, bro. We keep it hype here. Yeah, no, man, but that's cool, and I totally agree with you that like. And actually, Nishizo said in the chat, good point. Natural, authentic hype, right? Natural, authentic hype is best. I mean, if you don't necessarily have to force it, if you're not like, okay, guys, at this time, I need you guys to do this. I mean, obviously, that stuff, especially when you're an artist that not many people have heard your stuff, or maybe they haven't heard it enough. That stuff, it has to happen, right? We know about that. That's just kind of how the thing is. But to see somebody get into your work, like you said, to go to a level immediately where they're not waiting for you to convince them to have a good time, to convince them that you're good at what you do, to convince them that this is something that they should enjoy. They just immediately go, you know what? I am here for you, and I will get to know you more after this show. And you can kind of cut. You could probably feel that. Were you able to build any kind of connections or anything from that place?
Oh yeah, for sure. I met a few cool. I met people that I seen before, and through my music I was able to actually like get to know them, like minister to them, they ministered to me, we got to get closer. I got their Instagram, I got their numbers, like just because of the performance, like they really love like what I do and stuff. And it's all about that. Like I love meeting new people that are willing to like, you know, kind of open up to me because of the music that I do, because of who I am. And I'll do the same towards them, you know, like if they open up to me, I'll open up to them. And I even got to talk to the preacher and a few pastors from that convention that were also super supportive and then super dope. You know, and I was about to talk about CHH, but never mind. I'll go on to another topic. Okay. I know I got a time limit. I don't want to go over.
No, you bro. Hey, like I said, man, it ain't no thing, bro. Like don't worry about it. Don't worry about the time limit or whatever. We are super relaxed. Yeah. So you're good, man. Feel free to share whatever it is that you got to share, man. You're good.
Hey, let's get it.
You did bring up a good point though, where you were talking about being able to connect with people, right? I would say for us smaller artists, I feel like what we have is something different than what a KB, right, Lecrae, what many of these guys have, which is the ability to be able to just connect with fans right afterwards, right? We don't have to worry. Sure. I feel like where we are, we don't necessarily have to worry about certain things that they do. How do you feel like? Do you feel like, obviously you want your platform to grow one way or the other, but it's kind of, I guess the kind of the way I'm thinking of is like church, right? Like small churches are really dope because you got different dynamics, but you also want them to grow to a certain point. Where are you? Are you like, I want to get like so big that I can't even like hang out after a show?
Oh wow, the comparison from like being an artist and like your level of like I would guess like popularity compared to like church is like actually really dope, because I go to a small church and I've always heard like plenty of times is that the way small churches are is that they might be small but they're big in heart, and they're like family, you know, like they're super close, you know, they have time for each other kind of thing, you know. So wow, like yeah, like I guess in where I'm at, obviously, for sure, I want to grow. You know, like that's without a doubt. I want to get to that level where I'm like performing at like bigger concerts, you know, because of the energy and because I just love performing my music. You know, I never thought about that, like how like it'll get to the point where like you can't really interact or like unless you do like a whole private kind of thing, you know, on the side.
Right.
But I do want to get to the level though, like KB and like Candy Minio, but yet set a time for the people that really love my music and vibe with my music. But where I'm at, I actually love it and hate it, but more love it, you know, because it's still growth and I'm still growing.
Right.
Because like the people that do vibe and listen to my music and get hyped with my music are people that I talk to like at least once a week, you know, when I go to conventions, when I go to camps, when I go to like events, youth events, you know, like I'll still be able to talk to them after, still get to know more about them after. And even if it's just like new people that come in and listen to my songs for the first time in that event or something, I still have time to talk to them, you know. So I love where I'm at right now, but I know I'm going to get to the point where I'm like, oh, like KB, I don't have time, you know, like kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just, and, and it's part of it. And that's why I've never necessarily been against, and with the comparison, right, the analogy of small church, big church, I've never really been against one way or another. I feel like things just obviously have to shift, right? The way that you're able to connect right now is the way it is. But then, if Lord willing, you end up having a bigger platform, not necessarily because you're chasing after, but because God obviously opens up doors and makes it that way, you obviously then have to be more strategic. You got to put, certain people around you that you didn't have to really think to as much right now. And there's a lot of obviously, pros and cons for all of that. But I've never been a person to necessarily shun one more than the other. It's never been like, oh, small church is really where it's at, or, you can't get any, relationship with big church or whatever. Like, I don't really feel that way. I feel like, yes, like you said, to be intentional, you're gonna have to be more intentional with your platform being bigger, but that doesn't necessarily mean that your heart, right? I feel like there's definitely artists out there who would love to be able to do a lot more one-on-one, but they got to protect themselves. They got to protect their own family, right? Their own health, mental health, and all that. So when it comes to your place in this music industry, where do you feel like, because again, you are younger, right? Would be more of the newer generation. Where do you feel like you fit in currently in this CHH culture right now?
So when it comes to genre of music, because I'll talk about like fitting in a little bit in a couple of seconds. When it comes to like genre, I don't want to put myself in a category because I don't like to be put or placed in a box. So like I don't want to be considered like, oh, all he does is rap. All he does is like, do R&B music. All he does is, he does rock music. I in the time that I've been doing music, I've tried to experience and expand, I guess, my knowledge in music, and that's helped me a lot in like dabbling in like different genres. So like my first song was like a trap song. My second song was like a sad song. My first song ever that I've ever posted on iTunes was a sad song. Like it was a heartbreak song kind of thing, and that's where like we get a lot of liberals be like, oh, like he's not a Christian rapper, he doesn't like, but so like when it comes to genre, I try to like be as creative as possible. So like Secrets, like it's like a more of like a sad song, like, oh, I was never comfortable telling you all my secrets, like it's more of like a down song you listen to like when you're vibing kind of thing, but when it comes to like CHH now, I'd say like I want to put myself like, and I want to stay like this for a minute, is as an independent artist. A lot of people have been doing big things becoming an independent artist, like Indie Tribe, for example. Indie Tribe has been going crazy. No big deal. He just hit 100K. God is good. He's moved up a lot. And all because of his independence. So same thing with John Keith. Like a lot of people now, like they see like a label as like, oh, it'll get me somewhere kind of thing. And I actually had an experience with a label. I think it was over the summer. I'm not gonna say any names because I don't want to get blackballed. But that label was like super like it was a little bit sketchy, And I read over the contract. They were gonna sign actually me, Joseph, and JL. We looked over the contract and we were like, this doesn't seem right, like it's just something off. So I showed it to everybody, I showed it to my engineer, I showed it to my parents, I showed it to friends,
Hey, that's smart.
Like, no,
that's smart.
Kind of weird, Yeah, so I was like, no, I'm doing this for real because it's a 2-year contract, and if you're not loving what you're doing in that contract, you're gonna feel miserable. Might end up quitting music or something. So I never wanted to get to that point. So I read over it, and then they were asking for a little bit too much. They were doing a little bit too much, and then when they asked us if we wanted to like sign, we were like, well, give us a few more days to read over it, and they cut us off completely. Kind of like kicked us out of the group. Like you're like, oh, we're not going to go this direction anymore. And I'm like, okay, God is still good. Like he'll still move. So, like in that label, I felt like that kind of like what hit me like, okay, no, I don't want to do anything label or like for now, because I know like at some extent labels are actually really good, So right now I see myself as an independent artist. And if, the Lord opens the door where Reach, I don't know if Reach is in the chat, but if Reach hits me up, like, oh,
you never know.
So, that's a different story. But yeah, so that's where I see myself now in CHH.
I mean, we're to do everything in excellence unto the Lord, right? First and foremost. However, the byproduct of that then is, there is potential if somebody else ends up hearing or seeing or, whatever the case may be, then, Lord can open up a door, whatever. But if yet we are not faithful, though, with a little bit that he's given us and stewarding it the way that, true biblical definition of stewardship is, then that and our heart being in the wrong place is a much bigger problem. All right, because we definitely don't necessarily want to hit a platform and not have the character growth and not have the heart and the mindset right. Let's say somebody can get there and then they can't handle it because they got there way faster than they were supposed to. So
Yeah. Yeah, like
that's
I think about off of that, like I think about that like in a lot of things that I do now. Like the Lord has opened my eyes like in a lot of things recently. Like everybody always says like the Lord would never put you through anything that you couldn't handle, kind of thing. But it's always like when I seen that, I was like I was never really put to anything like I was never really put to the test in a lot of the things like but like these past 2 years has been like kind of crazy for me in terms of like I would say music. Recently I became a worship leader, at my church and not my church, the church I go to. And like in my head all the time, like I always like have doubts and stuff like, oh, I'm not being a good worship leader. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. I'm like, I'm not giving out the right songs in the right time. And then the thought always comes into my head, like, you were put there for a reason, like there's no way like somebody just picked you up off of the street and like, oh, you're going to be worship leader kind of thing, like, it's time and it's process, and it's something that, I've had people pray for me about, and it's something that the Lord put me there for a reason. And it's all with time, like, and I think about that, especially with my music, like it's now that I'm being patient and I'm taking things in account with time because I don't want to get to the point where I'm like performing at like at a KB, Lecrae, Andy Mineo level, and I can't handle it kind of thing. Like I won't be able to like to handle the pressure. I won't be able to handle the fans. I won't be able to handle like being in a room with like a record label where money's involved kind of thing. So like everything is all with time. And it's with a purpose.
Man, let's talk about your song Secrets. It's a nice vibe. It's definitely a vibey song for sure. I believe we actually have it on our Smooth Vibe Spotify playlist as well too. So yeah, man, it's a good song. I definitely enjoy it. I first got a chance to hear about you and then immediately became a fan. I just the way that you present yourself and carry yourself as well too. So just obviously from social media from afar, man, I'm just letting you know that that I definitely I feel something a little bit different about you, man. So but tell us about your song Secrets, man.
Cool. So my song Secrets is a little bit. It's self-explanatory. What I said earlier about like me not being in a box. This was one of the songs that I was like, I can't be in a box. Like I heard the beat and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to write to this immediately. And it was like a song that it was like it just came to me. It wasn't like something that took some time for me to actually like, oh my gosh, like I'm having it just came to me. And I wanted to be different. There's not a lot of like I would guess CHH artists that are into like R&B or would do like the R&B. You'll get like a few people occasionally like Caleb Mitchell or like Mike Teasy that'll dabble into a little bit. And I wanted to be a little bit different like them. So I was like, let me start writing to it. I wrote to it immediately and I got the song finished like in a week. I say like less than a week. Like,
oh dang!
I was like inspired. I was like, oh my gosh, and I didn't want to release it because it was like it was different. That's why I didn't want to release it. And I made that song last year. But because of the end of the year, I didn't post any songs on any platforms for like 4 or 5 months. So I was like, no, I have to post something, before the end of the year. So I ended up posting Secrets because it was basically done. It was quick to the point kind of thing. And it's, as I said, self-explanatory. The song Secrets. Like I've had like growing up, I've always had that like tendency to like kind of beat to myself, not purposely. It was just kind of like, just I never really like found a reason to open up to anybody, whether it's in a relationship, with like me and my girlfriend, or whether it's a relationship with me and my best friend, or a relationship with my parents. I've always found that like difficult for me to open up and just like be myself, or like just talk about anything that I'd be going through, So in that time, like hearing the beat, I was like, oh my gosh, it'd be like a dope love song, like, so it was like, I was never comfortable telling you all my secrets, like in a relationship, whether it's your boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, dad, like me, like growing up, I was like, no, I was never felt comfortable telling you my secrets, so when I say something, I mean it, like since I don't feel comfortable telling you, and I just like kind of force myself to tell you because I love you, and then when I say something, I mean it, because I don't open up like that, and then throughout the whole song, I just like kind of like reached out to like anybody that like, that goes to like that same thing, so it was like at the beginning, I'm like, I know you listen to my songs, And then I think the second part, something that I thought I was wrong or something like that, you know. So I kind of haven't heard the song in a minute, so excuse me. But yeah, like the song is like pretty simple. Like never comfortable telling you my secrets. You know, when I opened up to you, like I mean everything that I say. Kind of, you know.
Yo, that was it right there. Secrets, man.
Yes, sir.
Yo, that's I'm be 100% honest, bro. Like I was excited about that for sure. I mean, obviously, I mean, gosh, even serious, like there's like I don't know, there's a smooth side to you for sure. I would
Mhm.
definitely, I mean, yes, you got energy and everything else, but like secrets to me, just the entire mood, like it sounds like
Mhm.
I could just have an open conversation, which is kind of weird because the song's talking about the
Mhm.
secrets, right, and everything else. But it's
Yeah.
just, but like that's I feel that like so. Do you feel like you're currently at a point with with people in your life that you can't open up more to, or do you tend to still kind of be a little bit more closed off on some things?
No, yeah, for sure. Like I've learned over time, to open up. You know, I've had my situation. I have like my moments. I've been into situations where opening up, not opening up, hurt me. You know, and it got to the point where I just built up so much inside. You know that it broke me. You know, there's times that I was frustrated and I didn't know what to
Yeah.
do, where to go. You know, like I was, and it was until like actually JDL. He's in this name JL. I call him Jay. My bad. He's my best friend. That's my boy. That's my brother. You know, like there was times where like I had to go to him. You know, tell him what's up. You know, I tell him because like holding this goes for everybody. You know, like that's how people fall into depression. You know, that's how people fall with anxiety. You know, and everything because they don't have that one person to go to, or they don't have that one person to keep themselves accountable. You know, or like kind of help them out through those situations. So I'm at the point in my life where I still have my moments here and there. You know, I still reserve myself to certain people to a certain extent. You know, but I feel like I'm at the point where if I feel comfortable with you, so respectfully, I can open up to you about like, how I'm feeling, if I feel a certain way about something, or how I feel about now about something, so I feel like I've worked through that through my life that that the Lord, thank God he helped me work on that.
How intentional did you have to be though to open up, right? It's one thing to say that like I want to be able to pour into somebody, right? And I don't, I'm sorry, or open up to somebody. But to I mean that's something that I would assume you have to be intentional. Like how intentional did you have to be like, yo, I've got to, I want to actually open up to somebody?
No, like, yeah, for sure. 100% you have to be intentional. I would say like when I first realized that opening up was something that I'm not comfortable doing, and I had to like kind of like break from that. Um, that's why I said like depending who you are, what person I go up to, like everything that I say to the people that are close to me are intentional, like, and it's always been intentional. Especially having those like your day ones, kind of everybody around you. You never want to like be like beat around the bush or like kind of like push things aside, to a certain extent. So with the people that I'm close with, I'm always intentional. Oh, I mean, I'm intentional with everybody, but like personally, like in my personal life, I'm always intentional. Like and it'll get to the point where you feel more and more comfortable to open up, like depending what you go through and where you go through it.
Yeah, guys, make sure you guys. I mean, we already know here in the chat, but make sure you guys, if you guys don't have somebody, make sure you guys link up with somebody. Again, it's just cool, man. I think we live in a very interesting time, bro. That like you can
Yeah.
start building some really authentic relationships with people that you've never met. Did you go through any of that at all during the 2020 pandemic?
Uh, no, I was really to myself around that time. I couldn't really like because I'm more of like a in person. Like if I go to events, like I'll meet you in person, I'll talk to you. Like if I go to school, like I'm more of an in person like type of guy. Like so like when it was during quarantine, more of that 2020 like kind of crazy year. I just kept like myself to like the people that I was like always close with from the beginning. I mean, a few people I met, and I got close with, like till this day. But it wasn't really like just like my day ones I was around surrounded by most of the time.
It's kind of the thing right now for everybody to click up, right? Do you feel like you're going to potentially go that route? Is that something we're allowed to talk about? Like, how do you feel about potentially rocking with a group versus just doing your solo thing?
So we're actually like working on something now. It's not 100% sure, because we're still like talking about it. Like it's still like being worked out. But all three of us we're still independent artists. Like still doing our own thing, kind of thing. But we do want to form a group, and we have like a name. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like our name is Outsiders. And that's because
Okay.
like it's a little bit different. Because we are not. First of all, we're not called to be of the world. We're separated apart from that. So we try to be a little bit different from everybody else. And you see me, Jay, and then you see Joseph, and we all have three different styles. That make us unique. That make us kind of thing. So, and together, we go to shows together, like we go to events together. And when one person isn't there out of the three of us, they'll be like, oh, where's this person at? Oh, where's this person at? Like, so they kind of see us as that one clique, so even we even perform together, so we were like, we are that one different thing that sets us apart from everybody else. So we're outsiders, like that's kind of like where it came from. And then I know Jay and Joseph will give you, if you ask Joseph, maybe he'll bring it up on the interview, but he'll probably give you a little bit more in depth of like what Outsiders is, because he came up with the name, so yeah, like right now I would love to like really start up something with them, like those are my guys, those are my boys, outside of music, those are my like brothers, like they're the ones that help me. This is another thing, like back to what I was talking about before about like opening up, like you have to have those friends, those close people that help you, that encourage you and keep you accountable throughout anything, so those were my boys that helped me that helped me through a lot, so like being us together as a group, I guess that's what helped us become like that clique, it's that that what was that brotherhood, like that kind of thing that set us apart. So I would love to start something up. We are starting something up. Hopefully it takes more traction this year. But for now, I'm still kind of like solo.
So dropping the name Outsiders, was that kind of an exclusive thing? Y'all trying to keep it hush hush? Like where's the status on that?
Well, we're bringing it up like little by little. Like if you check on like Joseph's songs, like at the bottom, it'll say Outsiders. Like, and sometimes in our like I had a music video that I made, and at the end of it, I said, "We are outsiders," same, like, so JDL also, like in one of his songs, and then one of his songs he's on with Joseph, called Nothing Was the Same, he says in the songs, "We are outsiders," so we're bringing it up little by little until like it full fleshes out and it becomes like an actual like group kind of, we're bringing it to the light, slowly and slowly.
So my question that I especially when it comes to groups, right? There are certain conversations that I think people don't really do themselves a benefit if they don't have those tough conversations of, okay, if for whatever reason, let's say we don't necessarily, break the group up or whatever. Let's just say we move. Let's say, some of us get married or maybe we get our kids and we start traveling or whatever the case may be. Like, are those any kind of things that you guys have talked about? Like, have you guys kind of talked about like how to share the workload, how to share like different things, like just those kind of things already?
So we haven't gotten to the specifics yet. The one thing that we did do was that we're close to, well, not super close, but I mean, like, we've gotten to know one of the youth leaders for a different, he's like in Tampa. And we asked him, the first thing that we asked him to do is if he could be our manager, kind of like help us out with the workload kind of thing, individually and then together. So he's helping us build up that brand. That's the closest thing we talked about to anything specific, but we never actually had like sat down and had that conversation. But one thing we did talk about was that we're going to be kind of like indie tribe, so it'll be like, we're still like, we're a group, but we're still independent, so like if you want to do something independent, you still can do something independent, but occasionally we'll come together and make like let's say a project, or like, a mixtape with a collective of songs, or like a music video with us three with features and stuff, so it'll be like something like that, but we do have to have that conversation. I never thought about that.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just good to have conversations, especially up front, because the first thing you always want to make sure you protect is your relationships, right? That's first and foremost anything, and I think again, especially any of us who are a little older and have gone, through all the different like boy band breakups and all these different things or whatever, and of course some of that stuff is just wild, but some of it is just conversations that they didn't have, and it wasn't until later on that it was like, oh man, we probably should have had it, and then I wouldn't have taken it that way had I thought of it that way. You know what I mean? It's just It's a lot of different things. I know, and I am by no means I am 100% for having a team. Again, is why I want anybody who is like, yo, I love the Switch team, I'm always here anyway in the chat, I want to help out, like, yo, come on board, because we got plenty of work to do. But at the same time too, though, it is good to have those conversations, but it's also good to just have certain expectations put out, right? Because I think, and you said you're married, correct?
No, Joseph is married.
Oh, Justin married. Okay. So you had a girlfriend, right? So, so especially in those relationships, a lot of arguments tend to be had because of false expectations. Rather, it was nonverbal cues or assumptions, or whatever the case may be. And so, like Jay said earlier, having that open communication is definitely crucial, but even more so in a group, because those expectations can start to weigh on somebody if they feel like they're being expected much but aren't verbalizing like, hey, this is kind of where I am right now. And of course, you guys are all boys, so you can have those conversations, but are you guys kind of already thinking like, hey, 3 no more type deal? Or what are your guys' thoughts already about, are we going to just kind of rock it with just us, or is there going to be more people in the future?
No, so yeah, like we're never like a closed like book kind of thing, like it's just us 3, period. We've I think had a conversation with like 2 of our friends about it. Like if there's actually one of our friends he's Joseph's cousin, that he's a man of God. Like I love that boy. His name is Jeremiah, and he loves to rap. Like he's getting into more rapping. And he's moving down here. We talked to him about it. And we tell him all the time, like if he does down here, he's gonna. We're encouraging him, to make more music because he loves making music. We're gonna keep him accountable with everything that he does, and we told him about the group, like if he wants to feel, not let him feel like an outcast, if we do something apart, like as a group, because he's a part of us as well, So we never like had a conversation where it's like, no, it's just us 3, kind of thing. It's we're even as a friend, as friends, like we're never like a closed book to where we can't invite nobody to like what we're doing kind of thing, So as a group as well, obviously, yeah, like with our manager, we'd have to have a conversation, kind of get the logistics kind of set down and have those, I guess, like more specific conversations about everything that goes down, because I never thought about that. Like what you brought up about like, like it might not be like the like arguments or financial, but maybe like somebody moves or like somebody, like we never really had those conversations that we probably should have, and we will have, but I never thought about that, It's probably because, you, I don't want to say lived longer, but I mean, you experience more kind of thing,
Sorry, I'm reading Jay. We talk about, he says he's a popper, and I said, we need some proof. We need to see some proof then.
That boy
does he dance in your shows though? Does he dance in your shows?
He tries to throw down a little bit. I know, like most of our songs are like hype, and we don't have like he doesn't have like those opportunities where it's just like the beat going on, like he dances for real. And he always has this excuse that like he always performs on carpet floors, and it's hard to like dance on carpet floors, So so I don't know if he's really about it, So, but that boy can dance. I remember the first time I went to watch Joseph perform, and JDL came too. No, it was actually our first time me and JDL performing one of our first songs. He started dancing, like he just like went up to the stage when somebody was performing and started like crumping, pop locking. He dropped to the floor and everything. And when I tell you I was his #1 hype man, I was screaming like a girl. Like when that boy danced up, it gets me so hyped. Oh my! I hope he's here. I hope he's hearing it. But like he gets me so hyped. That boy can dance. Now I don't know about you. I never seen you dance. I got to see you dance. With my popping lock or something.
Hey, that's what's up. Oh man, yo, just the fact that you brought up the excuse about the carpet. I can at least say this much. If there is an excuse that a popper would for sure use, it would definitely be something about the carpet. And so I'm dying because all I'm thinking about is like, man, you could do more than just glide, bro. Like there's more to it. Oh man, okay.
He's listening to this right now.
So we're almost at the end of January, man. We're at the end of January for the most part. New Year's resolutions have gone up, and for many people have gone down already. What are some things that you have done or that you are currently doing to prepare yourself for the rest of 2022?
So, a few things. One thing, well, for my spiritual life, one thing is just being more, well, I'm going to say just in general, being more consistent in everything that I do. For my spiritual life, being more consistent in my prayer life, when it comes to praying, fasting, reading, just like my relationship with God, I just want to keep strengthening that, Now for my, my physical, like me, like jumping into music, being more consistent in like networking, reaching out to artists, working on songs, having more songs put out. Last year I think I put out a total of 4 songs in the 12 months that we had the whole year. So it was like pretty bad. And then I seen Joseph. This is why it's good to have close friends like that. Like you see them, they hold you accountable, encourage you.
Yeah.
Joseph, I think mid-year he had a list of all the songs he was going to post for the rest of the year. Each month, like it was going to come out on this date. I'm going to get it mixed on this date. I'm going to have it done by this date. Like I'm going to go to the studio by this time. Like he had that all planned out, and I was like, whoa, like, I got to get on my stuff. Like I can't be slacking. He kind of pushed me to it. And this year I have like a set list of like, for like half of the year I have like my set list, like of songs that I'm going to post, songs that I'm going to do. It's just like being more consistent in my music. And then from that, I think it might be the next question you ask is like working on other artists. Which I'm gonna let you ask that question. Want me to go jump into it?
No, man. Go ahead. Go right into it, man. What are some artists you gonna be working with?
Yeah, so I'm excited. Right now, well, underground artists. One is Jay Soto. Him, shout out to him. Another one is my boy L3V. I actually have 2 songs with him. One for the summer, one for like more of like a serious song. And he's so underrated. Like that boy can rap, And another one I have is with Zay Hill. I'm excited for that one. It's a little bit different. Excited for that one. And then my last one, hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get him on the song, is Christopher Sincere. I'm hopefully getting him on a song.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah, that boy can rap. I'm telling you, that boy can rap. So those are the few artists that hopefully I have this year. And then by the end of the year, before the end of the year, I'm posting a mixtape, a small mixtape, a small EP of the songs that I compiled over the last year and songs that I worked on and that mean close to me, So yeah, that's my plan for this year.
That's dope, man. No, that's good. And I mean, obviously we've already been spinning your stuff. Our chat is not unfamiliar with you. So as you get anything, of course, let us definitely know about it. And something I'm gonna actually start doing that my team and I are gonna start doing on Oxen Brand Music on our IG is I want to kind of do like a Tip Tuesday type deal thing or whatever, but from a perspective of a DJ, because I talk to a lot of artists and they'll want me to play their music, and normally the first questions that I always ask right away is, okay, cool. Do you have the vocals and instrumentals? Because obviously, as a DJ, if I get those 2 things, I can put you in mixes, right? And I can do a whole lot more with it. And a lot of times, artists and I don't know. Do you produce your music, or how does that work for you?
No, so I get my beats off of YouTube. Unfortunately for now, I want to get into like producing, but right now, I just get my beats off of YouTube, and then I go to a studio. I have my engineer it, and go from there.
Bro, I can't tell you how many times I just get a random DM, yo, support this song, and put a link. And I'm like, could you at least say hi? Could you at least, see how my day is going?
So
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you ever been that person? Have you ever just threw some stuff in the DMs or whatever and just kind of hope it caught on?
I'm not gonna lie, I've been that type of person. I've been that type, but it was never. I've never done. Oh, check out my song. Like, I've always like led up to it. So like, and I only send it to people that I know. Like, I don't send it to just all of my followers. I send it to people that I know.
Gotcha.
So like the people that I know, I'll be like, oh, like I have a song dropping this and day. I'll love if you support it, and they'll be like, yeah, for sure. Like it'll never be like something random. Like they see it, they expect it from me, kind of thing. But like randomly, like on a random follower, I won't be like, oh, go check out this song. I've had people hit me up. And I'd be like, yeah, for sure, I'll go check it out because I don't think too much of it. And I can't knock people's grind, So that's how people make it, kind of thing, But like me, yeah. I've never been like that type to just kind of like constantly like, oh, go check out this, go check out that. It'll be just like people that I'm close with or cool with, kind of thing.
Well, thank God for you that you would have never just randomly done that, because that's definitely a just pass on by. Like, and we are a small stream again. Like I told you off stream, we're doing a lot of rebranding stuff, right? So this is all a fresh start. I don't care how small of a platform we might be right now. Like we as a team treat ourselves as if we're already a Reach Records, platform or whatever. And
sure.
so there's definitely, comments like that or whatever. It's like, okay, cool, thanks. I'm just gonna keep it moving because, but having authentic relationships is huge. And even if the relationship even if both parties know, like, hey, business wise, we're going to try to make this business move together, but can we at least be relational, right? Can we be more relational than transactional? Like, I feel like some people try to go too much to one side and be like, yeah, but you gotta really be boys with them. And it's like, well, no, listen, we only have so many time a day, right? We only have so many people that we can actually pour into or whatever. So to have something that is business is great, just as long as it's not just transactional. Because if that's the case, then yeah, you're not going to really support nearly as much, right? Of course. And so,
for sure.
Well, hey, bro, it's been a joy. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Again, we enjoy the music. Appreciate your energy and your responses, man. I'm glad to see you're passionate, man, that you're excited about it. That's really cool. That you also have a team, right? You're outsiders who are able to hold each other accountable, but then also have different traits that you guys can learn from, like Joseph with his, like get stuff done, mentality and everything. Like, that's really cool. So, but man, are there any other final thoughts, final words, anything coming up soon that we should know about?
Got you. So I do have a song coming out this Friday called Switch. I think it's one of like the most interesting songs that I've worked on. It's a crazy sounding song. I'm pretty sure people are gonna love it. It has like a lot of what I do. Like a lot of flow switches, a lot of like beat switches. So it's literally called Switch because I switched in the song. But I mean, it's a cool song. This Friday comes out, so y'all stay tuned. And then for everybody else in this chat, I just want to let y'all know Jesus loves you. Everybody in the chat, I hope you guys have a beautiful night. Hope you have a beautiful night. DJ Integrity. I love that sweater. I wish I can have one too. Just send me the link. If I gotta buy it, I'll buy it. But yeah, that's it.
Yo, thank you so much for sticking around to the end. Hopefully you found any of this content useful, and if you did, make sure you like and subscribe, and of course hit that notification bell so you can be notified for the next time that we upload anything. However, make sure that you're also following us on all of our social media platforms, and of course we want to see you guys live in the chat in our Twitch, so make sure that you guys are following us there as well. Love you guys. Peace.